Yeah, I think it starts with the guys up front, Coach Rocker and Coach Washburn, and then starts with them and then their players and instilling this mindset that, we don't want people to run the ball on us. There's a certain mentality that we want to play with and certain aggression level and physicalness level that we want to play with, and it starts there, and then, it translates to the back end. It becomes kind of contagious, and everybody's kind of sees the product of when you play a certain way, you can eliminate part of a game for an offense.
What's your philosophy when it comes to a 5-1 front and the advantages of doing it and maybe some of the limitations?
Yeah, I think it's a really good front. I think it's a really good front, and I think there's spaces for it and when you need it, and based on the package and the people that you have and the matchups that you can create, there's some advantages and then there's some disadvantages, just like with anything. I mean, with the 4-down front or 3-man front, there's positive and negatives of both. You got to be able to make sure that in this league you are able to have answers with whatever defense you're playing out there, because offenses can try to trap you in certain things, and they try to tempo you and do that. So, whatever defense you're playing, you better have answers.
Sean, Zach Cunningham got here late, and it seems like he's played better each week. What have you seen from him? And what did you see from him when he got here and he was trying to kind of learn it all real quick?
Yeah, the one thing you do notice from the beginning when we first got him was he's a veteran. He's played a lot of good football in this league, and he kind of has some really good instincts and feel for the game. And so he's able to learn the defense relatively quickly, because he's had some experiences. And so that's shown, and that's kind of what's kind of helped him impact us on defense at a relatively quick rate. And so you see that on tape. You see his physicalness, you see his range, his playmaking ability. He uses his hands well at the point of attack. Obviously, he can move well. He's quick side to side. And so all that stuff shows up on tape for him. And I think the more he keeps learning and growing within this defense and the finer points of the defense, it'll just continue to keep improving.
When you drafted Jalen Carter, you knew you were getting a great player. But did you expect him to be this dominant this early?
I don't know that, and I think part of that is probably I try to limit my expectations of people, especially young players like Jalen, because for us, from our perspective, as soon as we get them, now they're into our development program, of how we want to develop guys with the skills and the traits that he's got, and he's got great skills and traits, and he's got to continue to develop within the defense and learn that, and he's doing that, and he's finding some spots to have some success, but like anybody, to be great, it's got to be a day in and day out process, and he's learning that, and he's doing it, and he's trying to do it, and so that's kind of the emphasis with him, is just with Coach Rocker and him, is just keep developing him every day with the details and the fundamentals that we want to teach, and that'll help magnify his own skill sets that he brings.
He's got that limited. He's playing like 40% of the snaps right now. I guess, is that something that you want him in that kind of designated pass rusher kind of spot role, or do you sort of see him as someone who can play a bigger percentage of the downs?
I don't know about percentages, but in terms of being able to play on all downs, yeah. But you see that with all of our guys. That's the whole philosophy here that we've talked about for a long time, is we want to be able to send guys in waves at these guys and make them stay fresh, and that's why the standard is the standard in that room. And Coach Rocker and Coach Washburn really hold them to that standard, that they've got to earn the right to rush the passer, and that means you got to play first, second down defense, you got to play run defense, and you better be good with our techniques and our fundamentals that we're teaching so they can do that, and he's doing that.
Fletcher Cox has gotten off to a real good start here. Do you get any sense that maybe like young guys like Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis have kind of breathed a little bit more life into him? Do you think kind of rejuvenated him a little bit?
I don't think so. I mean, Fletcher's been dominant for a long time, and I think it's a credit to Fletcher and how he prepares his body and his mind for a season. I think the young guys really need to take notice of that, and if they want to have a long career like Fletcher, really learn and take some notes on how to go about doing that. And we've got some good veterans in our room. Brandon, BG's another one that have long-term sustained success, and there's a process to do that in this league. If you want to be a 10-year guy, it's not for everybody. And Fletcher's a great example of a consummate professional of how to do that and put in the grind every day. And, you see the guy practice, he practices at such a high level in terms of running and setting a standard for the guys, and it's inspirational for a coach to watch that. and it should be inspirational for the fellow players to watch, and I think they do take inspiration from it.
What did you think of James Bradbury in the slot? How did he perform? And then on the flip side, how did Josh Jobe perform outside?
Yeah, I think James did a good job. You know, this was his first time in game like speed to play in the slot, and he did a good job in the roles that we had asked him to do. And will he get better? Yeah, for sure. Everybody's getting better. It's only week 3 for us. You know, we're still climbing in terms of our technique and fundamentals and building that cohesiveness. And then when you have some transitions that we've had in terms of moving pieces, we're still building that continuity. But the good part of it is they're all getting it. You know, they're all getting those reps at it. And so Josh falls in a similar place. You know, this was his first time really playing a big chunk of plays. And he got a feel out there, and there's some things that he knows he wants to clean up and that we want to clean up with his techniques and fundamentals. But for him, it's about trusting his techniques and fundamentals and being able to continually down in and down out, like we talked about with the other guys, do that. You know, that's the mark of a really good player, is you're able to stay focused, rep in and rep out, and be able to put it at a certain level of output with your technique and fundamentals on every single play. And that comes from trusting your techniques and your fundamentals. And Coach McDonald and Coach Johnson and Coach Williams, you know, in the DB room, they've done a great job, to be honest, of preparing a lot of different guys in different spots.
Your defense has tackled well. What's your philosophy when it comes to that? Do you want to see guys just go full bore and you're okay if they miss because you have a wave of tacklers coming behind him, or do you want them to be able, do you teach it the kind of the other way?
No, you know, we believe in an aggressive mindset. You know, that doesn't change for us really on any level. And we want swarm. You know, we want bodies to the ball. And you're seeing some of that, and that's how takeaways happen. You know, good things happen when we run to the ball. We want big men running out of the stack. We want guys from the backside of the field coming, and we want people to be at the ball. We want a lot of jerseys in the screen, and that's part of people feeling us. You know, if it's just one guy all the time, it's lonely out there if you're just the same guy making that tackle. So you want your brothers with you, and that's kind of the mentality that we preach, and we're going to continue that way.
So if there is a missed tackle, that doesn't necessarily result always in a bad grade because...
Oh, grading-wise? Yeah, I don't like to get into our grading mechanics. I mean, we hold guys accountable to missed tackles. We don't want missed tackles at all. But there's, to your point, I think this is the point you're trying to ask, is you can manage a missed tackle if there's 8 guys around you to clean it up. You know, and so those situational tackles are things that we really try to harp on and teach of how to make those plays, whether it's just you in a lot of space or you got a lot of people around you.
Sorry, one of the less glowing stats, I guess, is the passing touchdowns allowed over 3 games. So you've had 8 of them. What's been your evaluation of that, and got better on Monday night? You know, what kind of progress are you seeing?
Yeah, you know, I think the first thing is you always got to look at yourself, and you know, I got to help guys with different calls, you know, and put guys in different positions, maybe, and that's part of the process. To be honest with you, every week I go through and I kind of recall the game on Monday with the ideal call and see how much I would hit, you know, if I actually hit it or didn't. It's part of the Monday morning quarterback I get to play for myself. But, you know, I think so that's part of it. And then the other part is a lot of it has been really detailed in our technique and fundamental within those calls. You know, whether it's playing with good leverage or playing with good eyes or making sure that you're trusting where your help is within the defense. And sometimes, I mean, this is the NFL. Sometimes they're going to get you on one, you know, and that's not that it's okay. We never want to give up any points on defense, but we got to have that next play mentality and be able to recover from a play that we might have given up.
One.
For the slot, Sidney Brown also played about 11 or so snaps there. What about his skill set lends itself to getting a look in that role?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of things. You know, he's obviously gotten some reps for us at safety as well, you know, through camp and practicing. And it's a lot, really, the way, like I said, the DB coaches with Coach McDonald, Coach Williams, and Coach Johnson prepare those guys. You know, there's a certain standard of, if you're in this room, you better learn some different spots. And he's got a really good football mind. He's hungry. And there's an opening and an opportunity for him to take some reps and learn that position. And there's a lot of carryover for some of the things that we require of him at safety. So we thought there was a good correlation for him to learn it, and he did it. He did a good job in that game, in the role that he was in.
Specifically playing the end zone with Evans, what did he show you on that snap?
You know, the ability to not panic. You know, he lost his leverage early, but, you know, you're playing against a Hall of Fame receiver. Sometimes that happens, but the ability to not panic and stay poised and finish the down, and that's really what it's about, right? I mean, late hands win, and he he was able to get that thing out at the end, and that was a big play in the game for us.
The process, you know, going back through your calls, what's the origin of that for you? Like, where did you pick that up?
It's a good question. I think it was kind of just through a lot of the mentors I've been around, and everybody has their own process, and I kind of developed that into my process of, you know, why not do that? I do that during the week, you know, when I'm simulating games and things like that, try to watch the tape and go back and say, well, this would be the best call in this situation. And then you build your call sheet and you go that way. And you always want to be the best. You know, you always want to put your players in the best position, and that, you know, we take a lot of pride in our preparation for that. And so you try to be as close to perfect as you can.
Sean, what does Nolan Smith have to do to earn some more snaps?
You know, I think there's a function of a lot of things. I think he's doing a great job. You know, I don't know if he's got to do more. I got to try to get some packages where we get him out there a little bit more, and it fits into our rotational plan. It's part of the send in the waves people that, you know, he's part of that. And a game like last time where the offense, I mean, did an outstanding job. I'll take that any time of the week of, you know, where they're on the field for the whole fourth quarter pretty much. You know, it limits the number of plays then. You know, we only had 47 snaps or something in the game. So it throws your whole rotation off. And so there's going to be games like that, but I think he'll tell you the first thing. I mean, if the offense wants to hold the ball for that long, we'll take it. And so his reps count will go up. We'll go up as we go, and we'll be diligent to do that.
Reed Blankenship, what have you seen of him as he's evolved and really grown into a significant role in this defense?
Yeah, he's been so consistent. He's really taken a lot of ownership in mastering the defense and the techniques, and he's been such a a rock, I guess is the right word, for the back end, because like I've told you guys, you know, a lot of our communication goes down through the middle of the defense from the backers and the safeties, and he's taken on that ownership really well, and he's growing with it, and you see it. You know, he made a great play in the game, had a great read, and, you know, I mean, took care of Mike. I think Mike was on the backside of that route with his eyes and everything, and then went to the front side off the quarterback, and, you know, that kind of stuff will continue to happen for him.